All right. To me, this is so funny because they're insinuating that it's actual racism if you dress up like somebody who you are not, somebody who doesn't share every characteristic of you. Weigh in on this.
To me, I mean, it's completely ridiculous. The people who are putting these policies into place, they are not from these ethnic minorities. I can almost guarantee you that are supposed to be getting offended. These are people who are probably white leftists sitting in their universities pushing for these policies to make themselves feel good, virtue signaling.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there's a difference between a costume that is meant to demean somebody versus a costume that's just a costume. Not all costumes are demeaning to another race or another ethnicity or another culture. There's also little kids, for example, who want to dress up like Pocahontas. They like that princess. They look up to her, the Disney princess who is based on the Native American character. They look up to her. That's something that's a good thing because they're looking at what she's achieved and what she's done. They're not looking at her immutable characteristics, her race and her skin color and the color of her hair and all of these different things. And yet leftists are saying, no, doing that, you want to honor somebody else, that makes you a racist.
Well, right, it's cultural appreciation in so many ways, not cultural appropriation. I've done this video, I mean, I've apparently culturally appropriated so many times I lose count, but I did a video that is going to be coming out actually next week where I dressed up as a Chinaman for Halloween, and I went to UCLA and I asked students what they thought about it, and I'm getting cursed at and yelled at, and they're telling me how racist I am, how horrible the costume is. And then I went to Chinatown where I bought the costume, and every single person we talked to, every single Chinese person who we talked to, loved what I was wearing, loved the costume. And it's like the people who are supposed to be getting offended by this racially insensitive costume that I'm wearing, they love it. They're so glad that someone is appreciating their culture, celebrating their culture. I did the same thing, dressed up as a Mexican for Halloween last year, and then for Thanksgiving last year, I dressed up as a Native American and did the same thing where I went to a college campus and saw what the students thought, and then went to basically where the place is that these people are supposed to be offended, and they all loved it in every single circumstance.
Right, because normal people living their lives aren't triggered the way that snowflakes on college campuses are. So I want to read a little bit of what Michigan State University said to students just because it's so ridiculous. It's humorous. This is what they said. They said, it doesn't matter if the costume is humorous or sexy because it's offensive to use, quote, those people's human elements for the sake of bringing us laughter or making us feel more exotic. These are people's lives. They are not stereotyped. They can't take off a costume. That sentence right there, I think, is extra telling. They can't take off a costume. That's almost Michigan State insinuating that we shouldn't be making fun of or dressing up as certain elements of that culture because they can't take it off even though they deserve to be made fun of.
It's ridiculous. We're not making fun of these people. We are celebrating their culture with them. If someone wants to dress up in a poncho and sombrero, they're not doing it to say we hate Mexicans. They're doing it to say we love Mexico, we love this culture, we love what this costume represents. They're not doing it to hate it. They want to imitate it, or like you said with the Pocahontas or like the Moana costume, they look up to it. Like I'm an Irish person, and on St. Patrick's Day, there are tons of people who are not Irish dressing up as leprechauns and various, Irish culture kind of things. And I don't get offended by that. I don't care. I'm happy that people are going out and celebrating my culture. I don't find it insensitive. I don't find it rude.